A meaningful life is not proven only in quiet mornings and beautiful routines. It is proven when the body aches, plans fail, people disappoint us, and the future becomes uncertain. Ikigai is not only about finding purpose. It is also about learning how to keep purpose alive when life becomes difficult. In the final part of the book, Hector Garcia and Francesc Miralles move from the inner question of meaning to the daily practices that seem to support long, active, resilient lives. Welcome. In this third part, we will look at the lessons from Okinawan centenarians, the Ikigai diet, gentle movement, resilience, wabi-sabi, and the final art of living with purpose without becoming rigid or afraid. The authors visit Okinawa, the village associated with extraordinary longevity, and what they find is not a secret laboratory of anti-aging. They find a way of life. People wake early. They move. They garden. They visit one another. They sing. They eat simply. They participate in community. They continue to have responsibilities even in old age. This is one of the strongest messages in the book: longevity is not one habit. It is an ecosystem. Diet matters, but diet alone is not the whole story. Movement matters, but movement alone is not the whole story. Purpose matters, but purpose is strengthened by community, rhythm, food, rest, and resilience. The body lives inside a pattern. The Okinawan elders interviewed in the book repeatedly express ideas that sound simple but are difficult to practice in modern life. Do not worry too much. Keep good friends. Eat moderately. Stay active. Smile. Be grateful. Help one another. Live slowly enough to notice the day. These are not sophisticated techniques. They are a culture of enough. The idea of enough becomes especially clear in the chapter on diet. The book explains that Okinawans traditionally eat a wide variety of plant foods, many vegetables, soy-based foods, sweet potatoes, small portions, and foods rich in color and nutrients. It also highlights the habit of not eating until completely full. The principle is to stop before the body is overloaded. This principle is easy to understand and hard to live because modern food environments are designed for excess. Portions are large. Sugar is available everywhere. Stress eating is normal. Meals are rushed. Screens distract us from fullness. Ikigai does not turn eating into a moral performance, but it does ask us to notice how food affects the whole life. After a meal, do you feel heavy and dull, or light and ready to continue living? The Okinawan pattern also shows the value of repetition. Health is not created by one heroic meal. It is created by a cuisine, a rhythm, a default. When the default meal is simple, colorful, moderate, and shared, the body receives care without constant decision-making. This is a practical lesson for viewers. Design defaults that make the wise choice easier than the impulsive choice. For the audience, the exact ingredients may matter less than the pattern. The pattern is moderation, variety, color, lightness, and consistency. This is very different from the modern cycle of restriction and excess. Many people treat food as punishment during a diet and comfort during stress. Ikigai presents food as daily care. Eating is not a war against the body. It is one of the ways we remain available for life. The book also shows that meals are social. Food is not only fuel. It is connection, rhythm, culture, and gratitude. A simple meal eaten with others may support well-being in ways that a perfect meal eaten in isolation cannot. Again, Ikigai resists the idea that health is only individual optimization. Health is relational. This relational view changes how we think about discipline. In many modern settings, discipline means forcing the individual to make hard choices alone. In the Okinawan picture, discipline is partly carried by culture. If meals are simple by default, if neighbors walk, if elders garden, if people gather, if moderation is normal, then health is supported by the surrounding pattern. The lesson for viewers is not to wait for perfect willpower. Build surroundings that make the healthier action normal. That may mean keeping better food visible, planning smaller portions, eating with fewer screens, joining a walking group, cooking with family, or creating a weekly meal with friends. These choices are not just lifestyle decoration. They are ways of making the body feel cared for and the person feel connected. The movement chapter gives another important correction. The longest living people are not necessarily the ones doing the most intense exercise. They are often the ones who almost never stop moving. They walk, garden, clean, cook, stretch, dance, practice gentle arts, and use the body throughout the day. This is a vital lesson for people who sit for long hours and then hope a short workout will repair everything. Intense exercise may be useful, but the book points toward a life where movement is woven into routine. The body was not designed to be parked all day. It was designed to bend, reach, walk, carry, breathe, balance, and recover. The phrase gentle movement can sound too soft until we understand its power. Gentle movement is repeatable. Repeatable movement becomes identity. Identity becomes aging. A person who walks daily, stretches daily, gardens daily, and rises from the floor daily is sending the body a constant message: we still use this life. That message matters. For many people, the best starting point is not a dramatic fitness plan. It is reducing stillness. Stand up more often. Walk after meals. Carry groceries when possible. Stretch while waiting. Use stairs. Keep a small mobility practice near the bed. Dance to one song. Tend something living. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is to remain in conversation with the body. The authors discuss gentle practices from the East, including yoga, tai chi, qigong, and radio taiso. The common idea is not athletic domination. It is circulation, balance, breath, posture, and awareness. These practices are accessible because they do not require youth or extreme strength. They allow people to continue moving as they age. The audience should notice the deeper principle: the best health practice is the one you can continue. A perfect routine that lasts 8 days is less powerful than a humble routine that lasts 8 years. Ikigai is built from continuity. Continuity is also why these habits belong with purpose. If you have a reason to live, you have a reason to care for the body. If the body is cared for, it becomes easier to serve the purpose. The two reinforce each other. A person who wants to play with grandchildren, teach, garden, travel, volunteer, write, or simply remain independent has a practical reason to move today. Movement becomes not vanity, but loyalty to the life they still want to live. Then the book turns to resilience. This final theme matters because every life includes loss, failure, illness, conflict, and uncertainty. A person can have a clear purpose and still be shaken. Resilience is the capacity to return to what matters after being knocked down. The Japanese proverb about falling 7 times and rising 8 captures this spirit. But the book's view of resilience is not just toughness. It is not about pretending pain does not hurt. It is about keeping perspective, staying connected to purpose, and refusing to let temporary storms define the whole life. Resilience means the important thing remains visible even when the urgent thing is loud. The authors also discuss techniques that help reduce emotional overreaction. One is to accept that the world is impermanent. Everything changes: bodies, relationships, jobs, identities, plans, seasons. Much suffering comes from demanding that life freeze in the form we prefer. Ikigai, especially through the lens of Japanese thought, encourages a more flexible relationship with change. This flexibility is not passivity. Accepting impermanence does not mean giving up. It means we stop wasting energy arguing with the basic nature of life. Once we accept that things change, we can respond more wisely. We can care for what is here while it is here. We can adapt when a chapter ends. We can grieve without deciding that the future is empty. Resilience also depends on having practices before the crisis comes. You do not build emotional strength only in the moment of collapse. You build it through ordinary training, sleep, movement, friendship, reflection, prayer or meditation, meaningful work, and honest conversation. These habits become the roots that hold when weather changes. This leads to wabi-sabi, the appreciation of imperfection, impermanence, and simplicity. Wabi-sabi is not an excuse for neglect. It is a way of seeing beauty in what is modest, weathered, incomplete, and real. A cracked cup, an old face, a fading season, a handmade object, a life that did not go exactly according to plan, these can still carry beauty. For an audience living under constant pressure to look perfect, perform perfectly, and display a perfect life, this is a powerful idea. Wabi-sabi allows us to stop treating imperfection as evidence of failure. It teaches that a life can be meaningful without being polished. Aging can be beautiful. Slowness can be beautiful. A scar can belong to the story rather than ruin it. This is especially relevant to the fear of aging. Much of modern culture treats aging as a problem to hide. Ikigai treats aging as a process to participate in. The goal is not to deny age. The goal is to age with enough purpose, movement, connection, and acceptance that the person remains present in their own life. Wabi-sabi gives dignity to the marks of time. The book also touches on anti-fragility, the idea that some systems do not merely survive stress but become stronger through it. Applied carefully, this means we can build lives that learn from difficulty. Small challenges, voluntary discomfort, honest reflection, movement, meaningful work, and strong relationships can make us less brittle. We do not need to seek suffering, but we can train ourselves not to collapse when it arrives. This is where the whole book comes together. Ikigai is not just one answer written in a notebook. It is a way of arranging life so that body, mind, and community support meaning. Purpose without health can become exhaustion. Health without purpose can become vanity. Community without individuality can become conformity. Individuality without community can become loneliness. The art is balance. The final lessons of the book can be translated into a practical life design. Have something to do. Have someone to love. Have a place to belong. Eat in a way that leaves the body light. Move every day in ways you can sustain. Protect attention. Practice a craft. Stay curious. Let go of unnecessary worry. Accept imperfection. Keep returning to what matters. This may sound simple, but simple is not the same as easy. Modern life pulls us away from nearly all of it. It tells us to consume instead of participate, compare instead of connect, rush instead of notice, sit instead of move, and chase status instead of meaning. Ikigai is a quiet resistance to that pattern. The resistance begins at the scale of a day. A person does not need to transform everything at once. Choose one daily anchor for purpose, one daily anchor for movement, one daily anchor for connection, and one daily anchor for calm. Read a page. Walk outside. Send a real message. Breathe before reacting. Prepare one simple meal. Practice one skill. These anchors may look ordinary, but they keep the life from drifting. The book's wisdom is strongest when we understand that small practices compound emotionally, not just physically. A walk is not only steps. It is proof that you can move. A shared meal is not only nutrition. It is proof that you belong. A craft is not only output. It is proof that your attention can create. A purpose is not only an idea. It is proof that your life is still in relationship with the future. The book does not ask us to copy Okinawa exactly. Most viewers will not live in a small village by the sea. They may live in apartments, cities, offices, and busy families. But the principles can travel. Build a small circle of support. Create a morning reason. Keep moving. Eat with moderation. Make room for flow. Stay useful. Treat aging as participation, not disappearance. The most important practical step is to make Ikigai visible in the calendar. If something gives life meaning but never appears in your week, it remains an idea. Call the person. Schedule the walk. Plant the herbs. Practice the instrument. Volunteer. Write the page. Cook the meal. Teach the child. Repair the friendship. Purpose becomes real only when time is given to it. A second step is to connect purpose with people. Private goals can motivate us, but shared purpose often sustains us. Tell someone what you are practicing. Join a group. Offer help. Create a ritual. Become part of a circle where your absence is noticed. One of the quiet lessons of the book is that being missed can be a form of medicine. It means your life is woven into other lives. A third step is to practice enough. Enough food. Enough work. Enough ambition. Enough rest. Enough possessions. Enough noise. Enough comparison. This does not mean abandoning growth. It means refusing endless hunger as a way of life. The Okinawan spirit described in the book is not passive. It is active, but not frantic. It moves, but it does not seem to chase life so aggressively that it misses life. Another practical step is to reduce what steals life. Not every obligation can be removed, but some forms of busyness are avoidable. Some comparisons can be unfollowed. Some distractions can be blocked. Some commitments can be simplified. Ikigai is not only about adding meaningful things. It is also about protecting them from noise. The final application is to make peace with the fact that Ikigai can evolve. The reason you get up in the morning at 20 may not be the same at 40, 60, or 90. That is not failure. It is life-changing form. The task is to keep listening. What matters now? Who needs me now? What can I give now? What practice keeps me alive now? These questions allow purpose to age with us. The closing message of the book is gentle but firm: stay active, do not retire from life, move slowly but keep moving, and let your purpose guide you through change. The goal is not to become immortal. The goal is to live in such a way that the years you receive are filled with presence. This is why Ikigai leaves the reader with a feeling of calm responsibility. You do not need to solve the entire meaning of life before dinner. You need to notice the next honest act that makes life more worth living. The book's wisdom is cumulative. Purpose grows when repeated. Health grows when repeated. Friendship grows when repeated. Peace grows when repeated. If you take only one idea from Ikigai, let it be this: happiness is not found by escaping responsibility, aging, imperfection, or effort. It is found by giving yourself to a life that remains worth waking up for. Thank you for listening. If this summary helped you reflect on your own purpose, carry one small action into the rest of your day. Find one thing that makes tomorrow meaningful, and give it a place in your life today.